Durban. Ayanda, good morning to you. And of course, I believe you have a guest for us. So what's happening where you at?
All right, good morning to you, Sakina. Good morning to our viewers at home. Well, Sakina, it is the results coming in a bit slow from the province of KwaZulu-Natal. When we left here at around midnight, the results that had come through were at around 46%, and we're still here at 46% now. So a lot of eagerness, of course, from the political parties that spent the whole night here following the results board. And this is just a provincial picture. Of course, all eyes are also going to be on the eThekwini Metro. And if we look at the results that have come through from the Metro at this point, only 28% of the voting results have been captured at this point. All eyes, of course, are going to be on the eThekwini Metro. But there has been some very interesting developments, as we know, since yesterday in terms of the results here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We saw the Democratic Alliance quite elated as they announced that they had taken control of the Umgeni municipality. Of course, another party that is quite pleased with the results is the Inkatha Freedom Party, which, if you look in the province, currently stands, has the second highest number of votes, standing in at 24.81%, and that is the IFP. They've managed to retain 13 of the municipalities that they won in 2016, and they've been able to regain other municipalities that they had lost since 2006. We also saw the National Freedom Party. They have managed to take control of Edumbe municipality in the northern part of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. And of course, they had governed Edumbe in 2011. They were unable to contest the elections in 2016, but they are back and will be running Edumbe municipality. Of course, I do, as you said, Sakina, have a guest who I'm joined by our political analyst, Professor Bheki Mngomezulu. Prof, pleasure to have you. Thanks very much for joining us. It's been a long 2 days as we've been following the results. I just want to first look at the province. Prof, in the provincial picture. Of course, we are still at 46% of the results that have been captured at this point. But if we just look at the overall and the map of the province currently, the ANC is in the lead with 42.16%. As I said earlier on, the IFP, followed by the Democratic Alliance at 12.15%. Looking at where we are, we're almost at 50% at this point, Prof. Do you see any major changes now in terms of the results?
No, Ayanda, thank you very much. Honestly speaking, I don't see any major change. And these results, in fact, confirm what we've been saying all along, that the contest in KwaZulu-Natal is mainly between the ANC and the IFP. And we've seen this on the results that have just arrived. And you have seen also, as you just indicated, that the IFP has retained a number of their municipalities that were already under their control. But moreover, they've taken a number of municipalities, including district municipalities, from the ANC. So that, in fact, is something that the IFP should be happy about. Of course, it's a serious concern to the ANC because it means after this election, they will have to do self-introspection and ask critical questions as to how did we get here. That is the question that the leadership has to ask. But going forward, I don't see any major changes. As we are saying that the focus will be on eThekwini, and even there, I don't think that the ANC will lose eThekwini. It might win with a small margin, but it will still win eThekwini. I've heard that the EFF had indicated before the election that it wants to take eThekwini. For me, that is a dream that will not be realized, at least not in this election. And I've also heard that Action SA also wants to take eThekwini. That is also another dream that will never be realized.
Yes, speaking about the Metro, Prof, as you're saying, at the moment, the ANC is in the lead there with 40.19% of the votes, followed by the Democratic Alliance with 30.15% of the votes. And then the EFF, and yesterday, when in the early hours of this morning, we had 9%. The EFF just gained a few votes in the last couple of hours also. They were quite adamant that they were going to make inroads in eThekwini. I know know that largely, Prof, and we've been speaking about this, was that they focused on students, or they focused on the youth in the eThekwini Metro. But if we look at the results as they come through, we know that they had also raised some concerns in one of the several of the voting stations. So it now seems that they targeted the youth, they targeted the students. But again, if we look at the numbers of people that came out to vote, very, very low. 36% of the registered voters in the province coming out to vote. 1.9 million of the 5.4 million registered voters. So equally low. So what does this say? The youth didn't go out as the EFF had expected.
You know what, and I'll repeat what I said in 2019. The EFF is a party for the future, but not now. It is on the upward trajectory, which is good for the leadership of the EFF. They should be proud of that. And the fact that they are focusing on the youth, it means that they are on the right track. But then, truth be told, they are not going to win this election, and they are not going to win the municipalities that they've targeted, for a number of reasons. If you look at the performance of the EFF at tertiary institutions, that does not necessarily translate into them winning certain municipalities or winning certain wards, for a number of reasons. One, these students who are registered at tertiary institutions, they don't all reside in eThekwini, nor do they reside around KwaZulu-Natal. They are studying here, but during voting time, they go back to their home provinces, which is where they vote. That is one factor. But then the second one, not all of them qualify to vote at this stage. So they might like the EFF, they might be passionate about it, but they don't qualify to vote. And then thirdly, some of them did not even register, even if they do qualify. And then fourthly, some do qualify, they're registered, but for one reason or the other, they didn't vote. So those factors then tell you that the EFF is on the right trajectory, but then it must just be patient. Going forward, it will do better, but not this time.
78 political parties contesting the election in province of KwaZulu-Natal. The majority of those were in the eThekwini Metro, where 50 parties were contesting. We also had a record number of independent candidates, 334 in the province, 53 right here in the Metro. We haven't yet seen the results, seen into the wards in terms of how the independent candidates have fared. But another big point now, Prof, and Sakina was just discussing it with the analysts at the Rock and Pretoria hung councils. At the moment, we have eMadlangeni municipality. This is in the further northern parts of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. That is the municipality that is hung in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We had 7 in the 2016 local election. We can confirm at this point that it is eMadlangeni. Yesterday, I spoke to the EFF leader in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, Vusi Khoza, speaking about coalitions. It looks like either the EFF or the DA could be the kingmaker, so to speak, in that municipality. And he, of course, saying that they have not yet decided who they'll work with. Equal, in fact, all the parties, the ANC that we've spoken to, the IFP in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, at the point ahead of the elections, none were ready to speak about coalitions. But it looks like, Prof, in some of these municipalities, these are the discussions that the parties need to start making.
We shouldn't be surprised, and this is something that was bound to happen. The moment we had about 325 political parties contesting this election, I told you that indeed we are going to have some hung municipalities, and then whether we like it or not, we are going to have coalition, which in my view is a disaster, because once we have a coalition, there is no service delivery. That is a fact that people can argue about, but that is one fact I will defend to the last bit. So basically then in this case, the moment we have 325 political parties contesting the election, the moment we have over 1,500 independent candidates, it means that you will have a political party that would have potentially won a ward or won a municipality, but it can't do that simply because it is 1 or 2 seats short. So what then happens is that you have to persuade someone you didn't like or someone you don't like even now, but then you are forced to do so. And the problem with these post-election coalitions is that they are coalitions of convenience. They are not based on anything of substance. You are forced to form a coalition, and in all likelihood, it's not going to work because there will be a power struggle. I'll be reminding you with my 1 seat, you are in this municipality simply because I gave you 1 seat. So I will demand more. And then you will be saying, by the way, you gave me 1 seat, I have more authority over you. And then while they fight over that, then service delivery will suffer. So it's a disaster. I personally don't like coalitions for that reason.
I know you had said that people who go out and vote, Prof, for these political parties vote for the party, and when they then decide to go enter into coalitions, these are agreements that have not been made between the voter and that party, and they might not necessarily want the other party that either of the parties that would be working together or forming some sort of an understanding. Prof, another important point is the smaller parties. As we said, Action SA. Yesterday we did see that tweet by the leader of Action SA saying that they had been able to get a ward in Newcastle. Very interesting development there. We've seen that they have some presence in KwaZulu-Natal. They were focused on eThekwini, as you had said, and the results are coming through. At this point, if we look at Action SA, they're now fourth in the number of results that have come out of eThekwini at 6.66%, and then followed by other smaller parties. But what we don't see is parties like the Minority Front that have representation in the eThekwini Metro, that have been represented in the provincial legislature. We don't see parties here in eThekwini, for example, the NFP, the ATM. We're now seeing other parties emerging, like Action SA. What do you see of their results in the province?
Okay, let's start with the Action SA. For Action SA, if they get one seat, for them it's something to celebrate because it's from 0 to 1. The problem is with the older political parties like your Minority Front. The problem with Minority Front is that they were built around a particular individual. When Raj Bansi passed on, then there was chaos. That is a fact. So now the moment the leader, who was the anchor point, disappears, then the party doesn't hold, more especially if the remaining leaders didn't do their homework while the leader was still around. So that is one negative factor that I think other political parties should draw lessons from. Now, with regards to Action SA, I think that given the fact that Herman Mashaba made inroads in Johannesburg when he was wearing a different hat, when he was part of the DA, and then he did something which, in his view, he is proud of. Of course, there will be questions as to whether he did a fantastic job or not, but that's a discussion for another day. The reality of the matter is he has targeted certain municipalities, he has targeted certain provinces, and I think he did his homework and said that if I target this one, I'm going to get something. The mistake that new parties make is to bite more than they can chew. You must know which battles to fight and which ones not to even attempt. So in this case, I think that Action SA has done a homework, and then they said, if we get one, it's our first appearance, we should celebrate that, and then going forward, we'll build on that. As for the other political parties, the NFP, I would have thought that the NFP had a chance to regroup. But some of the members of the NFP, in fact, have done a disservice to Mamugama Kwazamsebi, because when she came in 2011, she did a fantastic job. And then she went to the National Assembly, she also did a fantastic job. The problem is when she was incapacitated, leaders of the party did not follow the constitution. And then in that sense, they therefore disadvantaged the NFP. The NFP has the potential to grow, but then because of internal squabbles, it has been unable to do so.
All right, Prof, thank you so much for your time and your insight and unpacking the results that have so far come out of the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Sakina, we're not yet done. As I said, we're still at about 46%. It may have gone up now, but still around, not yet at this 50% mark. But throughout the day, of course, the focus is going to be on the eThekwini Metro. Are there going to be any major changes to the results that we are already seeing coming through? Sakina, I'm going to leave it here for now and take things back to you.
Thank you so much, Ayanda Mhlongo. And of course, throughout the day, we'll be keeping us updated on what's happening. And another interesting discussion around not just the dynamics in KZN, but again, of course, coalition talks with the guests there. So, Leanne, just going to the eastern